There's no way to stop this. Edge with a steel chair.
Hey, what's up everybody? Today we've got some HESH memes for you. One in the FV 4005, and the second one is actually in the Death Stars, so the 183. FV 215B 183. It's a mouthful compared to this. Both tanks are extremely, in my opinion, broken. Just saying, my opinion. But I'm never one to really shy away from the broken tanks. Especially if you look at my stats page. Don't do that. Don't recommend it. I want to know the truth. But they are, at least for me, for the user, they're fun for some laughs. For the enemy, well, it's just unfortunate. And yeah, sorry, that's all I can say for them. But these tanks are always quite the laugh, especially on stream. If I have some of the best moments, especially if we platoon a few of them, especially this tank, which we've done a couple times, and it's hilarious. Because even if you don't pen, you will generally take 2,000 damage plus off of somebody if you don't pen, all three of you or something like that. It's totally balanced and fine. Great part of the game. But honestly, right now you see me just basically staring at a wall for the first minute. No, I'm not watching the paint dry. I'm usually go to this position because I don't want to say every time, but it's often enough, usually, that somebody on the enemy team pushes around that corner too eagerly, and then you can get some early free damage off from that position. Only thing I kind of caution against is this E4 just wants to give us, just a casual, almost 1900 damage. That's real thankful. I appreciate that. Something the warning though of that position I'm talking about is vulnerable to Artie actually on this map, so just a fair warning. I've been hit a few times there, so just keep that in mind. You see, I just kind of ignore lower health tanks in this. If I feel like I don't need to shoot something, I'm not going to, unless it's around the health of this thing. And I'm mounting on 500 health against an I7 that was fairly healthy on our team. With the side, I'm not really gonna waste a shot on that. Sorry. Now we can look at their team composition real quick, and you can tell they have a lot of TDs. This is a little risky here. One, because the Death Star right in front of me, and we're just gonna snapshot him casually, and just go upon our merry little way with our wonderful googly-eyed shit barn, bringing presents to all those around us, basically. But yeah, they have a lot of TDs, so you got to be careful. You can lose a lot of health very quickly. It goes right back to the enemy team, and they are going to lose a lot of health very quickly. I don't want to really poke this Jaegeru. The damage there is very tempting, because I know I can pen his lower plate super easily, but I don't want to lose 1100 HP either. Just not something I did want to do. Not a good trade. We see this other Jaegeru though. He's pushed up a little bit. I don't know if he knows that he's vulnerable here actually. So we're gonna aim in, and as he starts really backing up, we're gonna snapshot it. And luckily it goes in for us. Just like I said, keeping in mind the mini-map and just looking at where tanks are. Like I said, one of the biggest helps of this game and learning how to get better at it is learning the maps. And whether that's when the new map comes out, going in a training room and just looking around and kind of getting a feel of where people are going to poke and stuff like that. Yeah, that works. And that's what I do on occasion. I haven't done it lately, And shots like this, knowing that you don't, I could aim and possibly pen a little lower, but then I would risk hitting the tracks and only, with quotes, doing like 800 damage. And I might get assisted, but I'd rather take the guaranteed shot if it hits. And that's that big box on the E4 on the back. It's not that well armored. And sometimes, this is for other tanks that aren't HE, even if they're angled, and they're angled enough on the E4 to not be penned, you can still sometimes actually get a shot on that little box on the back of the tank and get a penetrating shot. So it's something I always look for, see if that's capable. And at this point, I'm just waiting to reload. I see this grill is just sitting here in the open, and that's like my dream. So I'm gonna take a shot from him, and we're just gonna, you know, casually delete him from the game. What grill? I don't see a grill. Do you see a grill? I don't see a grill. He's gone. Poof. I'm a magician. Now at this point in the game, obviously we've won this. Just a casual 7,800 damage or so. And I don't know if we get this. Yeah, we do. We pick up the 5th kill. And now I think that's maybe it, because I believe he already shuts this guy down. But yeah, just over 8,000 damage. Actually, just 80 damage, because we really like the pretty looking numbers here on the channel. And hopefully we're trying to pick up the Top Gun here, and we see the already fire, and by the time we aim in, yeah, he's dead. So no Top Gun for us, but that's alright. I have a few of those already. And you can see the better gun handling there, how quick it aims in for this tank. And we're kind of going to see the difference a little bit between this tank and the 183. A little disclaimer, this game, and I think maybe a few others that are going to be on the channel, are from the ×2 Silver event for Tier 10s a few weekends ago. So no, you will not make 140k playing this tank all the time. That would be kind of game breaking, and there would be really no point in premium tanks at all. The reason I say it'd be game breaking, because you could just fire all premium rounds like you do in these tanks, because, well, in my opinion, that's the only way you can really play these tanks is with the full HESH. Because why don't you want to use 275 pen HESH? Why not? And yeah, so that's the crap barn, the good old shit barn. So next is the 183. Now this tank, I've kind of neglected recently, and honestly, I'm not that disappointed with not using it. Just because, yeah, it has more armor, and you will see that benefit me this game. Because otherwise I would have died if I was in the 4005. But just in my opinion, the 4005 with the extra gun handling, the placement of the turret in the middle of the tank, it may not seem like a big deal, but honestly it makes the tank less awkward to play. You can play it more like a regular tank instead of having a rear mounted turret like this, where you get very, I don't want to say little, but you don't get as much gun depression, and it's just kind of awkward going around corners and stuff like that. Granted, you can side scrape in this, and you actually have armor, so you can bully some lower tier tanks. But granted, let's be honest, you're gonna bully most tanks in this thing when you slap them or just totally kill them with one shot, because yeah, well, that's fair. But this thing, it's still good. But if you're looking to play one of these type of tanks, because console, I'd suggest the 4005. But also because the grind on that tank is a lot easier. It's a lot less painful compared to this thing. And you can still, you know, just not do any damage, or you can non-penetrate him for 700 damage. It's completely great. But again, you can see the kind of gun depression. I had to poke all the way up and over that hill. Granted, the 4005, you're starting to expose a lot because, one, you basically have a giant porta potty turret. It's literally, I mean, there's a full-size door on the back of the tank. So just to give you an idea how big it is. And yeah, just overall. So this thing's just awkward to an extent. But, like I said, I still enjoy it. Still wish they would probably nerf the HESH pen on these. And honestly, I would take that. That's not a good trade, but that's what I mean. You have to like poke your whole turret. Yeah, Jesus. English. Your whole turret around. On maps like this. You can do side scraping on some better maps, but this isn't one of them really because of the incline on the hill right here. You'll be aiming up in the sky otherwise. But like this, just kind of backing up, you can poke around corners. It's kind of easier. But overall, like I said, the grind for this thing is more painful now, just because the AT series of tanks is in desperate need of a buff, in my opinion. And that's mostly just because when I grinded this tank, it was probably at 3 or 4 years ago, and really all that was in the game was like American, British, and German tanks. The Russians may have been in when this was introduced, but even still, there wasn't many tanks that were just completely overpowered. Those like 1815s or Tortoise or something like that. So I'd really prefer the mobility and just the turrets on the 4005 line, in my opinion. But enough kind of, I guess, talk like that. So you're still trying to search for shots at this point in the game. It's still a close game. I know. You see this awkward side scraping. This is weird. I know there's a 268 in front of me. I'm hoping Artie doesn't smack me at this point. This 4000, or no, I'm sorry, this 50 TP decides he wants to die and sacrifices his entire hit points to us. And here we see the armor holding up for us. We're side scraping pretty well here, and we're able to just bait the shot into the tracks. I don't know what this 50B's idea was at this time. Yeah, let's just YOLO in here and clip the one guy. I guess that works. But it distracts this guy long enough for us to nail a shot into us. And you see right to my left, as soon as I see this, I'm like, oh shit, my game's over. But we have a bad chat issue. And I'm just trying to run right at him. And of course he sets off some fire. That's another kind of crappy thing about this tank. And here I'm just praying, don't shoot me in the fuel tank again. And luckily he does not, so that's good for us. But as soon as he came at us, I'm like, I gotta try to get in his face so he can't pen us, or we can keep him tracked in play, kind of just keep him in place, basically. But unfortunately, he gets away. But we come up behind the 60 DP, and we're going to shut him down with a big old 183 sheller through the back of his turret. But unfortunately, at this point in the game, it's 7,500 damage so far. There's still a good amount of tanks on their team, but we only have 148 health, which is kind of an issue because this tank, with the aim time of like 3.5 seconds or something like that, 3.4 seconds, I think it is, you generally take hits. That's another thing. The Death Star, you generally take hits trying to aim in on shots, usually, unless you're unspotted. Versus the 4005, you can sometimes get away without getting hit a lot more reliably than in this thing.
Focus on this location.
But well, this is definitely one of my just kind of fun time tanks. You see now they have like no hit points left at this point. And I'm mainly just watching this Patton because he's going to be the issue here. Again, we're doing a little side scrape. and we're able to third-person aim it, just lead it a little bit. Because shell velocity isn't that great, and that's the end of the game. Again, some kind of crazy pens, a little bit nuts there in the middle, but 7,500 damage, 4 kills. Excuse me. Again, this was during the times 2 silver, but just 7 pens for nearly 7.5k. It's not nearly what I've done. I think when I did the 11.6k, I did 7 shots damage also. But you see, we killed 3 of the crew members on that 50 TP. That's horrific. Oh god, that poor guy. But yeah, these tanks are kind of taking the place of some others. These are just my I'm having a rough time, or I just want to have a laugh. I pull the HESH memes out and just kind of derp about. I don't always take the games too seriously, especially in the 183. Just because it's kind of awkward on some maps, even this one. But if you can get the gun to behave, yeah, you can end up results like this. But until then, or until next time, I will catch you later. See you.